I recently saw you in a video discussing SNAP benefits and the stigma of affordable housing. Can you tell me more? I'd be glad to. So, talking with some friends and family, and the topic of affordable housing comes up, and people immediately associate that with like government subsidized or Section 8 or whatever thing they want to attach to it. I've actually heard somebody say that, now it was a comment on social media that low-income housing means low-income problems. And I was kind of like, I was really confused on what they meant, but well, I knew what they meant, but why would you think that is the way to go? Why would you pose that as being true? The reality is the average home in Apex is like expensive. It's not cheap. An entry-level job probably couldn't cover somebody's first home. If a family of 2 working adults and 1 child are just like going to struggle just as much. So I do think that bridging the gap to help people to have stable housing in any shape, whether that be a rental or whether that be a lower price market value, a lower price home, single family home, there's nothing wrong with that. People love this town. And if we pull the drawbridge up, or for the not in my backyard type of community, then I think we need to reevaluate that. Something's wrong with that. We should want to make this town and what this town has to offer for people that want to be a part of it and contribute to it for as many people as possible. So I reject the stigma attached to affordable housing. That's why I try to just say housing. It's not, sure, those other components may be a part of it, but who's to say that the young family moving in doesn't raise the kid that finds the cure to cancer? And that was all possible because they lived in Apex. They were able to take advantage of our schools. The parents were able to get to work and come home and still, have a strong family. Or for the grad student that wants to, be a part of a nice community and still continue on with school, but they don't want to live in downtown. Why wouldn't we want to have a place that can afford that? So I question I understand the stigma. I would just challenge people to look outside of, or understand why they feel that way, but then look at the reality of what people are trying to accomplish. And the SNAP benefits, it's expensive right now. I heard at some point this year that somebody was going to lower costs on day one. Well, that hasn't happened. Costs have gone up. I've heard a lot of things where it's like, oh, there's going to be a bunch of jobs. Well, that hasn't happened. The reality is, if people are not able to afford food, that's a problem. But I think SNAP is a short-term fix for a good amount of scenarios. Sometimes it's just a bridge because somebody got laid off and expenses are out of control. Sometimes it's because, somebody had to take a job that pays them less money because they got laid off and they got another job, but now they're trying to get back on their feet. But I think a long-term fix is, how do we help more people find better paying jobs? So that can be multifaceted. But I do think a good opportunity would be, for example, Wig Tech. How do we partner with Wig Tech to help people transition to jobs that pay better and jobs that are more resilient against layoffs? I also believe that maybe, whether it's partnering with nonprofit organizations and or the town supplementing that, it's in our best benefit to help each other out, especially when we don't, when people are going through times of need. So wherever we can do the most good for the most people, the town should step up. But I also think we should be thinking long term. What are we really trying to accomplish? With SNAP, typically it's because the job that a person has may not afford their lifestyle. How do we provide resources? How do we partner with organizations or one of the many colleges in the area and communicate those opportunities to people that live in the town? How do we help people that are probably underemployed? How do we communicate potential opportunities? There's a lot of things that, and they still stem back to communication. How do we communicate properly about what we're trying to fix with housing? Not so much affordable housing, because housing could be apartments. It could be a townhome. It could be a single family home. It could be ownership or rental. We need to streamline our message and make sure that people understand that we are here with them. Not that we'll do it for them, but we're going to do our best to provide resources to help our community to be stronger. So I could get on a soapbox about that. And it kind of ties back to the question earlier about national politics. A lot of our issue is messaging. We're afraid to say the thing that really people need to hear. Not what they want to hear, but what they really need to hear. What are we doing to attract businesses that are going to help people to, take the next steps in their life? What are we doing to make educational opportunities available? There's a lot of times where saying the slogan phrase is just not effective. And it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. So I'm more than just the slogans or whatever. We've got to be able to execute. So, yeah. And I could talk for hours about that, so I'll stop now. But hopefully I answer your question. But I do think that SNAP benefits and housing are, they're symptoms of something else, and we have to get to the root cause.